real life stuff. You know, they always say truth is stranger than fiction, and it really is. And so I can't peel myself away from those things. So that's definitely a big time guilty pleasure for me. I'm not demented though, I swear.
Oh. Okay.
The scariest episode was when actually Terry had to eat those frogs. None of the episodes were particularly scary for me. Whenever you have to do something that takes you out of your comfort zone, I think, you start to get a little... So maybe it was line dancing. That might have been the scariest. I don't recall, some of the shows were much more difficult to do than others. But I look back at the whole, I don't remember any show being particularly tough or scary or anything like that. I think it was just, there was times where I find myself so at home, like when we were shooting the Daily Planet. I think that was my most fun, was to be in the Daily Planet playing Clark Kent was the most fun for me. I sort of felt like home and everything sort of hummed along very well. I really did, there wasn't a lot of fear in there. Maybe the scariest thing was we shot a scene with a tiger. And if you ever worked with tigers, which, how many of us can say?
Yeah.
Well, of course, is if you look a tiger, in the eye, it's a challenge. And they told me, don't look the tiger in the eye. Well, we were shooting this one thing, and the tiger wasn't kind of looking or whatever, and I kind of made a little sound like, and I ended up looking the tiger in the eye for a second. I couldn't help it. And then it's the whole side of the jaw went back, and I was like, that was the most frightening moment probably in the whole show. That or careening 50 feet straight down toward an airbag on a descender. I didn't like that either. Outside of that, there's not much fear.
Dean, I got someone here who's going to be Googling you for years to come. Hey, right here. Hey, Dean, what's your question for Dean?
I don't know.
That's my man. That's how I feel every day. I like your hat. You're good. You're good. I got you.
You did good. You sure you don't have a question?
Well, let me tell you what it was like to fly. What was it like to fly? Why did you ask me that? The flying was fun. Actually, the flying wasn't very fun. We'd have to hang from wires, and they would blow a lot of air at us in front of a green screen. And I never liked that one. There was times the fly actually was fun was when they would travel us. So you'd actually be standing there with the whole rig on, and then you have to time it right. There's 4 guys grabbing a rope and running down the road. And, you'd actually move from point A to point B. That was cool. That was a lot of fun. But you can get really messed up. I think we flew into the translights a couple of times. Like that. It was fun. But the days where we had to just hang there and pretend we were flying, those sucked. I'll be honest. And everybody who came on the show wanted to fly. I want to fly. I want to fly. Then they got in the rig and you hang like a limp noodle like this. Boom. You have to straighten everything out. It's very difficult. And whenever Terry would be reduced to tears, like 8 times out of 10 that she was on the rigs, they're painful. So not many people really came on the show and flew well. They've gotten much better with their wire work since then.
That's called CGI.
Yeah, yes, it is. The freaking Spider-Man doesn't have to do anything.
All right, we absolutely have time for one more question. So, who has the most unique question they think they can ask Dean?
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to grab this young lady over here. So, you have a unique question? Do you really? Go ahead.
Oh, jeez.
She's on it.
Oh, jeez.
how to get into the film and television world. That's a great question, and it's very difficult to do so, I'll be honest up front. Nepotism is alive and well in Hollywood, and it always will be, as in any industry. Knowing somebody is very important. It can be very helpful, but it is not, you don't need to know somebody in order to get into the industry. And the way the technology has changed so much nowadays, it's incredible. On my iPhone, my son shot a little thing, and there's a little app on the iPhone that allowed me to edit it in 5 minutes, and he can post it on YouTube. He's got some, 2,500 hits. I'm like, what's going on? You can really, with the technology today, you can shoot things and tell stories, and someone was talking about this earlier, I forget who it was, we were saying, you can just put together a story, whether it's on your iPhone or whatever, you get people to see it and go viral nowadays. So that changes the world of filmmaking tremendously. I would suggest going to classes and things, but I'm a screenwriter. I've written 30 films, 30 projects, and I never took a screenwriting course. There's a certain natural ability. I grew up around it, so I was familiar with it. But I would tell people, if it's really your dream to be in this industry, and it's a great industry if you can make a living in it, it's a tough industry, but it's a great industry, is to just do. Whether it means writing, or acting, or directing, you can really just do with today's technology. Make shorts, make small films, do take classes. But the classes I took, I disagreed. I got a C in film in college. My instructor was an idiot because I disagreed with what he had to say. And we banged heads the whole time. He hated Hollywood. I loved Hollywood. And so we would bang heads all the time. So sometimes you're going to get a teacher you don't agree with. And like any other thing, you have to follow your heart and your gut and do what you think is best. A show like The Sopranos got turned down by every network. Every network said no. And then HBO picks it up, and it's a huge hit. Happens constantly. So you really have to believe in what you're doing and believe in yourself. If you get rejected as an actor 100 times, you got to still keep going. And that's the best advice I can give. Don't listen to the word no.
Dean, please hold, if you can. Obviously, we just got a question that just came in from literally South America, and this is your #1 fan here wants to relate to you here.
Excellent.
Thank you. That was last night. I talking with my grandchild, my daughter, that's living in Ecuador, Guayaquil, South America, and he asked me to ask you that question about the clothes. You know?
About the clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's 5 years old. So yes. So that's I did that question for him. You know?
So that answer was for a 5-year-old boy?
Yes. So I want to say you and Royce in that show is the most charismatic and wonderful couple. I love it. And for movies or shows, this is a most wonderful couple. I watched over and over and never forget that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most charismatic man in the universe
Yes.
right now.